So speaking is very important. Speaking is very important because we speak more than we read. We speak more than we write. We speak more than we listen. So let's look at the meaning of speaking. What does speaking means? So speaking is the act of expressing your thoughts, ideas, or feelings through spoken words. Through spoken words. So speaking is the act of expressing your thoughts, your ideas, or feeling through spoken words. It is a way where you are able to speak out, you are able to express, describe your thoughts, illustrate your thoughts, tell people your thoughts, your ideas or feelings through spoken words. So it is something we do every day. Yes, speaking is something we do every day. For an example, when you greet your neighbor in the morning, you speak. When you ask a question in the class, you speak. When a student speaks during a tutorial, you speak. So in Nigeria, speaking happens in many places such as classrooms, church mosque announcements, student presentations, debates, political speeches. All of this you have to speak. Speaking happens in all these places. So a good speaking skills helps students to communicate clearly and participate in class discussions and present idea confidently. There's this kind of confidence that comes with when you are good in speaking. When you are good in communicating well, there's this kind of confidence that used to be that the kind of person that you used to have as a person. Not people that are shy to talk outside, not people that are afraid to speak in the presence of people. I'm talking about when you can speak well. Some people can speak well, but they are shy. But when you can speak well and you're not shy, you're able to stand in the midst of people to talk. There's this kind of confidence that comes. Even if you are giving an impromptu speech to give or an impromptu talk to say, you will still be able to find your way around it because even the confidence alone will give you the balance of what you are doing. So a good speaking skills help us to communicate clearly. When you have these good speaking skills, it enables you to be able to communicate clearly. Clearly that we are talking about here is you being able to communicate in a way that the person you are communicating with will understand. Then these speaking skills helps to participate in class discussions also, and it enables you to be able to present your ideas confidently. So speaking is one of the key study skills that support effective learning. So speaking is one of the key study skills that support effective learning. It is very important. So having a good speaking skills is not about showing off your sophisticated diction or your buzzing folks with your presence, but it is just your ability to be able to effectively convey to your listener your thoughts and ideas. So you having the skills, you having a way that you're able to communicate to your listener about your thoughts, about your ideas is you having a good speaking skills. So we've actually talked about places that speaking happens in Nigeria. Classrooms, in our church, in our mosque, student presentations, debates, political speech. So all of these are areas where a speech can happen. You might be giving a talk, you might be giving a sermon to give in your church. You need to know how to speak well. Your speaking skills will determine what to do, how to make use of how to communicate clearly. Alright, Mr. God's time, can you hear me properly now? So let's go to the next slide. Speaking as an important study skills. So speaking is an important study skill, as I've said. It's very essential. So speaking is very important for students because it helps them to ask questions during lectures. When you're able to speak well, you will be able to ask important questions during lectures. You'll be able to confidently raise up your hand, ask a question, because you are not scared of how to put your questions together. You are not scared of the grammar. Speaking is very important for students because it also helps them to be able to explain their idea in classes. When we are doing our practice question, it's not every one of us that used to talk. It's not because we don't know it. Some are shy. Some know it, but they are shy. So when you have these speaking skills, it as a student, it will help you to be able to explain your idea in class. You'll be able to explain your idea very well in class. Another one is you'll be able to participate in group discussions. You'll be able to present your seminars or assignments. So this one is very important also because we are all in 100 level now. By the time we get to 300 level, there are some particular courses that you need to come to the school to come and defend. And your speaking skills matters. Although you are showing them your copy, you are showing them a document that you've actually solved everything inside. But at the same time, they will ask you questions. You need to be able to give them answers orally. So that is where your speaking skills comes in. If you don't have a good speaking skills, you are going to fuck up, and they will grade you according to what you say, because they believe that you should actually be able to defend what you are submitting. So an example of this is a NOU student presenting a GST assignment during a study group meeting must speak clearly so others can understand. So this is a clear example. You must be able to speak clearly, you must be able to speak well so that we can understand, so that people can understand the kind of information you are trying to put down to them. So speaking well does not mean you are using a big grammar. What it actually means is just you communicating your message clearly. When you speak well, it doesn't really mean big grammar. You are speaking from the dictionary, you are saying things you don't. That is not you speaking well. When you speak well, it means you are able to communicate your messages clearly. The listeners are able to understand the information you are giving to them. The group you are talking to, the group you are giving a discussion, a group meeting, they are able to understand the aim, the beginning to the end of what you are talking about. That is when you speak well. So speaking as an important study skills. Speaking is very important. It's very important. As I've said, it is one of the key study skills that support an effective learning. So after listening, speaking is the second one. So let's go to the next slide. How to be an effective speaker. How do we be an effective speaker? We are talking about speaking here, and for you to develop a speaking skills, you need to be a good speaker also. So how to be an effective speaker? To speak effectively, the first one is know your language. To speak effectively, you should know your language. What does this mean? It means use correct and simple English that your audience understand. You should be able to know your language. You should be able to use correct English, correct and simple English that your audience understand. Example, if you are explaining something to a secondary school student, avoid very complex grammar. You see this example? There's a particular, sorry I'm taking you to 300 level. There's a particular course in 300 level also that is called DES 302. I don't know if some of us has heard of that course. It's like you going for a community development. So let's assume your own group is to go to secondary school to go and give them a talk, to actually train them on some certain things and discuss to them some certain things. and you went there, they gave you the mic, maybe as the leader of the group. You went there and you started saying, started giving big dramas. You see, at the end of the day, you will notice that they are not going to follow up with what you are saying because you are not speaking well. Although you are speaking correctly, but you are not speaking well because the audience you are trying to connect with are not understanding what you are saying. So that is why for you to be an effective speaker, you need to look at your surroundings and know your language. Know the kind of language you'll be using. If you are to give talk to people that they are more of Yoruba people there, don't, or you are more of adults that are Yoruba women, Yoruba men, don't use English. If you know how to speak Yoruba, come down to their level, break it down. And if it is people that understand pidgin better than Yoruba, better than the main English, do it that way so that you'll be able to communicate well. Another one is know your sorry. Hold on, sorry. Sorry. So I was talking about the second part, which is know your audience. So you're supposed to, as a good speaker, for you to become an effective speaker, you need to understand who you are speaking to. This one too is very important. You need to understand who you are speaking to. Example, speaking to lecturers is different from speaking to friends. You are speaking to a lecturer is different from you speaking to a friend. So you need to understand who you are speaking to while you are giving your speech or while you are communicating. So another one is, let's go to the next slide. Have a clear purpose. So you must know why you are speaking. For you to become an effective speaker, you must know why you are speaking. For an example, maybe you are speaking to inform people of how things work, or you are speaking to convince. Maybe you are in a debate, they are telling you that to debate why money is important than education, why education is important than money. So you are speaking to convince. And that one is to entertain. You are speaking to entertain. When you give a talk to entertain people, maybe you are a comedian talk or a funny comedy talk to entertain people, you must know why you are speaking before you start speaking. Fourth one is prepare well. You must be able to research your topic before speaking. Example, a student giving a presentation on climate change in Nigeria should study the topic first. You are given a topic to speak about. The first thing you do is that you should actually study that topic first. Get connected with the topic. You should know how the topic is, what the topic composed of before you are able to go for the particular speech. Before you are able to go and give your speech. So this is part of how to actually become an effective speaker. Prepare well, have a clear purpose. You must have a clear purpose. You must prepare well. You must be able to know your audience. You must be able to know your language. So these four things are very important for you to become an effective listener. The fifth one is repeat important ideas. When you are speaking to people, maybe you are speaking to convince, or you are speaking to give specific information, you must learn how to repeat key points. Your important ideas, the important ones, you must learn how to repeat them because it helps listener to understand better. So while repeating those key points, while repeating those important ideas, it helps listener to understand better what you are saying. For an example, you want to talk about how to make a tea. An example, yeah, you know, hot tea. Yeah, let me use hot tea. Water must be boiled first, but they need to on the gas to put the pot, I mean the cup or whatever they want to, the kettle to boil the water. The important ideas there, or the important point here should be when you are on your gas, make sure you are not with your phone. Or when you are on your gas, make sure you are not close to any, yeah, maybe petrol, whatever. So this will help listener to understand better that like it's going to be a dangerous thing if you are on your gas and you are beside the petrol, or you are on your gas, you are making phone calls. So you repeating that key point will help the listener to understand better. So an example is a tutor. A tutor, sorry, yeah, during a lecture, a tutor may repeat an important definition. For an example now, what I'm saying now, I'm talking about speaking. And if you notice, I'm going back to actually mention some things and say some things again, so that we can understand that these are very important. So, as a good speaker, for you to become an effective speaker, you need to learn how to repeat important ideas. Then the sixth one is make your speech simple and conversational. Make your speech simple and conversational. So if you are giving a speech, or you want to become an effective speaker, you need to speak in a natural way so people can follow you up. You don't need to fake it. You don't need to blow grammar. You don't need to fake voice. You don't need to touch your voice. You don't need to speak in a phonetical way. Just speak in a natural way so people can follow you easily. Imagine that today I'm here to talk and I'm using a different voice. I'm giving a phonetical voice. Next class, I might not remember the same way I did this particular voice today. So which means I'm not going to be giving a specific voice for all my classes. So we need to learn how to speak in a natural way so people can follow you easily. So that is for that. So let's go to the types of speaking now. Let's look at the types of speaking. Hey guy, bath now. Don't bath now, please. So let's look at the types of speaking. So the first one is informative speaking. So that's the first type of speaking, informative speaking. This type of speaking is used to educate or give information. This kind of speaking is used to educate or give information with the word informative speaking. Example in Nigeria is a lecturer teaching a course. A radio program explaining health issues. A student explaining how to register courses on the NOU portal. So the aim of this particular type of speaking is to inform, not to argue. Under this type of speaking, that is informative speaking, the aim, just the importance of this particular type of speaking is to inform and not to argue. You are not speaking for people to argue with you. Instead, you are just trying to inform them that these are the things that are going on. These are the things you need to know about. For an example, the class I'm giving now is not for us to argue, but it's for us to have a better understanding of how it works, and later on we ask questions and get the full knowledge of everything. So another type of speaking is persuasive speaking. So this is type of speaking that is used to convince people. It is a type of speaking that is used to convince people to accept your opinion. With the word persuasive, it means you trying to convince. So when you are doing this kind of speaking, when you are doing this type of speaking, you are able to convince people to accept your opinion. Example is debate competition. Debate competitions, political campaign speeches. A student trying to convince classmates to support an idea is a persuasive speaking. So another example is a student convincing others that online learning is better than traditional learning. This is a persuasive speaking. Yeah, let's go back to our primary school days, whereas they will give us a debate and tell us that to defend that farmer is better than a teacher, or that thing that they will say money is better than education. So that is part of a persuasive speaking. And also, you will go to the platform, you will go to the social garden and start debating and start defending and start giving points, trying to convince others that money is better than education. Why your other partner or your colleague also is going to come outside and say, yeah, education is better than money. So this is called persuasive speaking. Speaking that you are able to convince. When you speak, you are able to convince people to accept your opinion. So we have 4 types: informative speaking, persuasive speaking. The fourth one is entertainment speaking. So this type of speaking is meant to make people relax and enjoy themselves. Entertainment speaking. Example is a master of ceremony at a wedding. An MC gives speech. The kind of speech an MC gives is for the audience to relax and enjoy themselves. An MC in a wedding can actually call like 2-3 people outside, make them do 1 or 2 things, and everybody will laugh, everybody will enjoy themselves. Another example is a comedian performing. Yes, stand-up comedian. All this stand-up comedy, all this bushy, AY, povy, you see they speak. But the importance of their speaking is for people to relax and enjoy themselves. That is the importance of their own speaking. Another one is a storytelling section. A storytelling section is to make people relax. And when a storyteller is telling you a story, it makes you relax, it makes you to meditate and focus, and just to relax yourself. Maybe you are tense, you are depressed, and you have a therapist that you are going on with a section with, that is telling you a story on how to get better, how to make yourself back. So this kind of speaking is just meant for you to relax and to enjoy yourself. So entertainment speeches usually include humor, stories, and personal experience. So these entertainment speeches usually include humor, stories, and personal experience. So let's look at the importance of speaking in learning. We are done with the types of speaking. Informative speaking, and we have other 3, which is the persuasive speaking, entertainment speaking, and those are the 3 that we have. So we are going to the importance of speaking in learning now. What are the importance of speaking in learning? Good speaking skills help students to build confidence. These are the importance of speaking in learning. When you are able to build up your speaking skills and you are able to advance your speaking skills, what are the importance? What are the things you gain? So a good speaking skills helps you as a student to build confidence. As I've said, you'll be able to speak publicly even without you being informed that you are going to give us a talk here today. Even if it is an impromptu speech, because of the confidence you have, you'll be able to find your way around it and do well. Some people, if they tell them to pray publicly, they will not be able to pray. Just to pray, even if it's just 3 lines, they will not be able to pray because they don't have confidence in their speaking skills. They don't have confidence in it. They believe if they say 1 or 2 things now, they are going to blunder everywhere. That is their own belief. So they don't have that confidence. So as a good speaking skills, If you have a good speaking skills as a student, it helps you to build your confidence. Then communicate with classmates and lecturers. You'll be able to communicate well with your classmates and lecturers because you know that we see the same English that you are using. It's not as if you are using French. You are speaking English with each other. So you'll be able to communicate with your classmates and lecturers well. Another one is participate in group work. You see, you'll be able to participate in group work because let's say you are given a group work and the leader is asking that, yeah, how do we solve this? How do we plan about this? And nobody is there to talk. Even though you have ideas in you, but because you don't have that good speaking skills, you don't want to talk. You are afraid, you are shy, you don't have the confidence. But if you have a good speaking skills, you'll be able to participate in the group work because you'll be able to tender your own idea. You'll be able to give out your own idea that will help build the group work. So another importance is it improves knowledge and understanding. If you have a good speaking skills, it will improve your knowledge and understanding. So an example is students who actively ask questions during lectures often understand the course better. This is true. Yeah, it might not be 100% true, but this is true. Sorry, it might not be 100% true, but this is true. Students who actively ask questions during lectures means they are doing they are following up with the lectures. So they get to pick things that they don't understand out and they ask so that they can understand properly. So they often understand the course better because they are following up. So let's look at the challenges that students face when speaking. What are the challenges that students face when they speak? So the first one is fear and anxiety. Fear and anxiety. This is very common to almost everybody. Even me then, yeah, that fear and anxiety to speak, to talk in the public, and for you to be able to connect with people and your classmates and the rest. So that is the number one challenges that most students face when speaking. So many students are afraid of speaking in front of others. This is just the truth of everything. Many students are afraid. They'll be like, if I should talk now, I will fuck up. If I should talk now, yeah, because they are nervous already. So they believe anything they say is wrong. Some people, they will be saying the correct thing inside them, but if we tell them to talk, to say it outside, it will become a problem because they believe that if they speak anything outside, if they should say anything outside, it's going to be wrong. And it is because of the fear and anxiety to feel, the fear and anxiety for them to be like, yeah, you are wrong. That is why many students are afraid to speak in front of others. Example of this is a student may feel nervous when presenting an assignment in class. And you are told to actually explain a particular assignment in class. The assignment they told you to explain is something you did and you submit. But now, come and explain it. Explain what you submit. It turns to problem. You start looking as if they don't even understand what the teacher is saying or the lecturer is saying. So this is not because they don't know it, but because of the fear, because they are nervous to talk. So that is the number one challenge, fear or anxiety. Then number two is lack of knowledge. If you don't understand the topic, it becomes difficult to speak about it. This one is also common. It's also part of the challenges. If you don't understand the topic as a student, it becomes difficult for you to speak about it because you don't understand. Yeah, you literally don't understand what they are talking about. So the student asks, example is a student asks to explain global warming without studying it. Yeah, you are in the class when they are talking about global warming, but because when the class started, the lecturer did not explain about global warming. Instead, he just call you and say, oh yeah, explain global warming for me in your own understanding. But because you didn't read the topic before you come for the class, or you didn't even go through the topic before you come to the class, you don't have any idea about what global warming is. So another challenge is lack of knowledge. When you don't understand the topic, even during the class, if you don't still understand the topic, it becomes difficult to speak about it. You will see that majority of us will say, we don't like math, we don't like physics. It is not because we don't used to go to math class or physics class, but because we don't understand the topic. That is why we make those particular subjects, those particular course an enemy to us. It's not because you are not going to the class, but it is because you are finding it difficult to understand the topic. That is why you believe that math, me and math, we are not together. Me and math, we are not friends. Because the topic is not something you understand. If it is something you understand, you will love to do it. You will love to go back to it and learn. So let's look at the third one: mother tongue interference. So this one is another challenge students face when speaking: mother tongue interference. So sometimes our local language affects how we speak English. Sometimes our local language affects how we speak English. So example is Yoruba accent. I don't know, but this is actually true. Yoruba accent, maybe here in Lagos, the way we speak our Yoruba is different. If you see someone that just arrived in Lagos from maybe from a state, a southwest state, from a Yoruba state, you will notice from the way the person is speaking, the Yoruba will be different. So if that person wants to speak English, it will actually show. The mother tongue will actually show. So this class is going to end in less than 1 minute. Just click on that link back to join. So please click on that same link back to join. So I'm talking about mother tongue interference, and I'm using Yoruba accent as an example. If someone is from this particular Yoruba state and you come to Lagos for an example, the way you speak at first, the mother tongue is going to be showing. It's going to be showing. People will notice that this person is just from the village. It will show. Another one is Igbo pronunciation. So our mother tongue interference. Bro. This network. So I was talking about the mother tongue interference. So I've moved to Igbo pronunciation. The mother tongue interference also appears in Igbo pronunciation, the way they pronounce things. So sometimes all these local languages, they used to affect how we speak English. Another one is outside influence. There are some particular things I noticed under this outside influence. If they want to pronounce things that ends with ed, they don't pronounce it as ed. They pronounce it in a different way. So it happens like that. That is just because of the effect of the mother tongue interference. It's not because they don't know what they are saying. They know what they are saying, but because of the mother tongue interference, it actually appears like that. So this can affect pronunciation. This mother tongue interference can actually affect pronunciation. So this is another challenge, part of the challenges that students face when speaking. I said the first one is fear and anxiety. Second one is lack of knowledge. While the third one is mother tongue interference. So let's go to the component of good speaking. What are the components of good speaking? So under the component of good speaking, we have the number one, which is the grammar. What makes you a good speaker? What makes you a good speaker? So the first thing that makes you a good speaker is your grammar. Using correct sentence structure. When you're able to use correct sentence structure, Example, this one is correct. I went to the market. Past tense, correct. The wrong one is I go market yesterday. Yeah. According to Nigerian, this is correct. They will tell you that it is pidgin English, and pidgin English is acceptable. But under the English, under grammar, like for under grammatical English, using correct sentence structures like I went to the market, that is the correct one. So this is part of the component of good speaking. For you to be a good speaker, you must be able to use your grammar as well. You must know how to use your past tense, your present tense, your continuous tense, your pronoun, everything together to work well. So instead of you to say I go market yesterday, you rather say I went to the market. So the second one is vocabulary. Your knowledge of words. Your knowledge of words is your vocabulary. A good vocabulary helps to explain your ideas better. And you have good vocabulary, it helps you to be able to explain your ideas better. Example is, instead of always saying very big, you can say huge or large. Vocabulary means your knowledge of words, how you understand words. So a good vocabulary helps you explain your ideas better. So instead of always saying very big, this thing is very big, this table is very big, this table, you can say huge or large. That is another words to use for very big. Instead of using two words very big, just use huge or large. So under this component of good speaking, we have grammar, we have vocabulary. The third one is pronunciation. So pronunciation, how do you pronounce? So this is the correct way of saying words. Pronunciation is the correct way of using. The example is, correct pronunciation helps listener understand you clearly. When you pronounce your words very well, it makes the listener to understand you clearly. So for an example, I want to say this is the correct way. Okay, I was supposed to say this is the correct way of saying words, and let me do it in a wrong way. Instead, I said this is the right way of words. That does not make any sense. This is the correct way of words. It doesn't make any sense. So it will make it a very difficult thing for a listener to understand what I'm saying. I'm supposed to say correct, but I'm saying rect because I'm not pronouncing it well. So you need to learn how to pronounce well. This is the correct way of saying words. So a correct pronunciation helps listener to understand you clearly. So number 4 is fluency. Fluency means speaking smoothly without too many pauses. That is when you have. So example is, a fluent speaker can explain an idea clearly and continuously. When you are a fluent speaker, you can actually explain an idea clearly and continuously without too many pauses. Maybe you are told to, for an example, let me say you are told to read the comprehension, and instead of you to follow the commas, the full stop and the rest, you are just reading it without following those signs. So you are not a fluent reader, not to talk of you being a fluent speaker, because you are seeing a comma, instead of you to take a pause, you are not observing it. You are seeing a full stop, instead of you to take a pause, you are not doing that. So fluency means you speaking smoothly without too many pauses. So if you have to speak in the public, if you have to speak to people, if you have to give a persuasive speaking or informative speaking, you need to be able to speak an idea. You need to be able to explain an idea clearly and continuously without too many pauses. So that is for the fluency. That is for fluency rather. So component of good speaking is grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and fluency. So let's look at the last part, which is how to become a confident speaker. How do you become a confident speaker? The word confident, you having confident, you having the mind, you having the balls to come outside and speak. So the first one is have integrity. When you have an integrity, you will become a confident speaker. Always speak honesty and sincerely. So learn how to speak honestly and sincerely. That is the number one way to become a confident speaker. If you look around, you will see that we have a lot of speakers, a lot of motivational speakers, it's inspirational speakers, health talk speakers, and educational speakers that will talk about a particular topic, and they will actually say everything in honesty way, like in a very honest way. Everything they are going to give in their speech, in their talk, if you should check everything later on, it is based on sincerity and honesty. So this is the first part that will actually make you become a confident speaker. You need to have integrity. Learn how to speak honestly and sincerely. So the second part is be yourself. Be yourself. Do not try to copy others. You saying I watch a speaker on I'm following a speaker on Instagram, and you want to do the same thing that the speaker is doing. No, nobody is saying you should not do the same thing with that particular speaker. But build yourself also. Add from yourself to it. Don't just do copy and paste. So be yourself. Don't try to copy others. The third one is focus on contributing. For you to become a confident speaker, you need to focus on contributing. Think about how to help your audience understand your message. So you focusing on contributing. You thinking about how to help your audience understand your message. You are giving a speech. Maybe let's say you are talking to secondary school students. You are giving a speech to them about how their work is going to be, how they need to focus, how they need to read for their SSC result. And while you are giving that speech, you are looking at them and you realize that they are not following up, or they are finding it difficult to understand what you are saying. They are the audience. So you need to focus on contributing. You need to look at them, feel what you are saying, the message you are giving out. Feel it as if they are understanding it. You can read it on their face. So think about how to help your audience to understand your message. If they are not understanding what you are saying, change your pattern, break it down, simplify what you are saying, and make them understand. That is how you become a confident speaker. Another one is practice regularly. So try as much as possible to practice regularly. So you practice speaking in study groups, you practice speaking in classroom discussions, you practice speaking in presentations. All of these are ways to practice regularly. For an example, while I was growing up, I'm a shy type also, but this is how I was able to actually learn how to talk publicly. I went to become, then I actually applied for a Sunday school teacher then. So I was able to start teaching there and embracing all those young children there. I help them, I give them Bible study, give them Bible reading. All of this actually developed me to be able to speak publicly. I didn't use more than a year there, but I had the intentions of going there to become a confident speaker. That was my initial plan then. So everybody can have this kind of anxiety or this kind of fear to speak publicly. It is very normal. Sure, you get it. But at the same time, You can't just allow you to be that. You can't just allow yourself to be like that. You need to learn how to become a confident speaker. You need to grow. You need to practice regularly. So the fifth one is know your content. When you understand your topic well, you will speak confidently. Know your topic well. Let's say you want to talk about your phone. If you want to talk about your phone, you'll be able to talk about it very well because it is yours. You understand how your phones work well. So same thing applicable here. If you want to give a speech, if you want to become a confident speaker, you need to understand your topic well. If you are given a topic on global warming, you need to research about global warming, learn about it, get familiar with it, and understand what global warming is before you go out there to go and give a speech. So you need to understand your topic very well, and so that you'll be able to speak confidently. So that is how to become a confident speaker. We have 5. Have integrity, be yourself, focus on contributing, practice regularly, know your content. So that is for that. So I'm going to be giving us a brief summary of what we've done now about speaking. So I said speaking is the ability to express our thoughts. It is the ability where we express our thoughts, we express our ideas, we express our feelings through language. So we are able to express ourselves, express our feelings through spoken language or spoken words. So, and I said it is an important study skill. Speaking is an important study skill that helps students to communicate and participate in discussion and present ideas clearly. So speaking is an important study skill. It helps us as a student to communicate well within your classmates, within your classes, with your lecturers, in your offices, in your home. It helps you to communicate well. So let's look at the 3 main types of speaking. I said we have informative speaking. That one is when you are giving information. You have persuasive speaking, you convincing people. Then the third one, you have the entertainment speaking, you making people enjoy or making people laugh. That's for the entertainment speaking. So let's look at what that makes you a good speaking. That makes you a good speaker rather. So good speaking depends on grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and fluency. These are the 4 ways, you're good speaking, or for you to become a good speaker. These are the 4 things you need to focus on: your grammar, your vocabulary, your pronunciation, and your fluency. So students may face challenges such as fear, lack of knowledge, and mother tongue interference. All of these are challenges a student can face that will not make them be a good speaker. So to become a confident speaker, students should practice regularly, prepare well, and believe in themselves. So for you to become a confident speaker as a student, you need to practice regularly, you need to prepare well, and you need to believe in yourself. So that is the summarization of this topic. Let's go to the practice question. I hope you are all getting along with this. So let's go to the practice questions and make it interactive with ourselves. So the first question is, define speaking as a study skills and explain why it is important to students. So I've actually talked about it and I explained to us what speaking means and is an important study skills also. So define speaking as a study skills and explain why it is important to students. Just in your own way of understanding, how do you define speaking? In your own way. What does speaking mean? Speaking, the word speaking, what does it mean? us out with that. So indirectly, that means we did not understand this particular. Hello? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Alright, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm with you, sir. Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's actually a way to define speaking in his own perspective. His own perspective. So according to speaking here, he said speaking is the ability for us to express our thoughts, your ideas, and your feelings through spoken words. So the ability for us to be able to explain ourselves to our colleague, to our friend, to our classmates, to our parents, to our neighbor, the ability for us to be able to express those thoughts and those ideas and feelings through spoken words is called speaking. So it's called speaking. So is there anybody that can add to it, that can actually hear from it, from each of their, from your own perspective, from your own view? What's the meaning of speaking? How do we get to understand speaking? Alright, so I believe we all understand with what I said now, because there's nobody that wants to answer. So let's go to the second question, which is discuss three. Let's discuss three types of speaking with examples. So I already listed out the three types of speaking that we have. So who can tell us the three types of speaking with examples? Three types of speaking with example. If you can only say one, yeah, it's okay. Yes, sir, you can.
The types we have informative speaking.
Yes, sir.
This is when you're trying to pass, you're trying to educate something.
Yes.
For example, someone, a lecturer giving a lecture to somebody. So in this case, you're actually educating with some information.
Yes.
And this one is not to be argued about. You're actually giving you an instant. So it's not to be argued about.
Yes, sir.
Then you have the persuasive one. This is in this kind of speech. You use it to convince somebody. It's fun.
Yeah. Debate. Yes, sir.
Yes. The last thing is performance speech. Performance speaking. So this is when to very calm, someone relaxed, feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So e.g. comedians trying to make you
Thank you very much, Mr. Chrisley. Thank you very much for actually saving the stress. So those are the three types of speaking. Those are the three types of speaking. So let's go to the third part. Explain four components of effective speaking. What are the four components of effective speaking? What are the components of effective speaking that can actually help us become a good speaker? Four. That can help us out. Four components of a good speaking. Of good speaking rather.
The four components of speaking well.
Yes, grammar.
which is making emphasis of correct sentence and structure.
Yes, sir.
So that is when you say
Yeah, that one is wrong.
then we also have a vocabulary. A good vocabulary is
Yes.
and we also have fluency, which means speaking smoothly without confusion. Those are the three common for saying
Pay attention. You're not paying attention. Yes, sir.
so that's for the fluency. For the pronunciation, is the meaning of this is coming from ambiguous for saying words. Example like this means I've understand your meaning. This means I've understand your meaning.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mukabi. So that's it. Those are the four components good speaker. So grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and fluency. So thank you very much, Big Kabi. So the silly questions
Hello,
and
Professor. We can hardly hear you.
all right, sorry. So I said those are the four components. Those are the four components of good speaker. So the grammar, the vocabulary, the pronunciation, and the fluency. So the three questions have been answered for us. Let's go to the objective questions and fill in the gap. So let's look at the question one under the objective. It says best speaking can best be defined as dash. You can what did you say? Okay. Yeah, expressing our thoughts through spoken words. So B, speaking can be best defined as expressing thoughts through spoken words. So number two, which of the following is not a type of speaking? Yeah, descriptive is not a type of speaking. We have informative, we have persuasive, we have entertainment, but we don't have descriptive. So the third one, the type of speaking used to convince people is called dash.
Persuasive speaking.
Yeah, persuasive speaking. That's the kind of speaking to confuse people. So number four, which of this is a component of speaking? A component of speaking. B, grammar. Yeah, thank you, sirs. So number five, fear of speaking in public is known as what? Anxiety. When you have when you are scared, you're having anxiety for that particular thing. So let's go to the fill in the gap. The fill in the gap section. The first question is, speaking is the act of expressing thoughts and feelings through dash language. Yes, through spoken language. So if we are to write the spoken, don't forget small letter S. Everything small letter. Spoken. So let's go to question 2. Dash speaking is used to educate or inform the audience.
Informative speaking.
Informative speaking. So how do we write the informative? The I will be in what? Yes, in capital letter because it is starting this statement. It is the one that is starting. So the I will be in capital letter. Informative speaking is used to educate or inform the audience. So the third one, the ability to speak smoothly and easily is called dash. Yeah, fluency. So don't let us just write fluent. We know it is the same thing, but fluency is the correct words for that. So fluency. Number 4. Dash refers to the correct arrangement of words in a sentence. The correct arrangement of words in a sentence is called dash. This is part of the 4 components that B can be explained for us. I was saying yes, grammar. So using your correct sentence. Using your correct sentence is an example of this, grammar. So grammar refers to the correct arrangement of words in a sentence. So the 5th question, one major challenge of speaking is dash. One major challenge of speaking is dash, which makes students afraid to talk in public. One major challenge of speaking is dash. Alright. Anxiety, fear. Yeah, you can use fear just for us to be on the safer side. Fear or anxiety, they must be together. So either you write fear or use anxiety. Just write fear or anxiety because that is how it is on the material there. So both are being used together, which makes students afraid to talk in public. So please, I'm going to give us an assignment on this. I want us to give difference, a very clear and reasonable difference between listening and speaking. The listening and speaking, according to this material now, it is telling us that we speak more than we listen. We speak more than we write. We speak more than we read. At the same time, the last unit that we did, which is listening is also rated as the number one key skills to be a good student or to be a good English student. So which one is more important? I want us to give a very clear difference and notable difference between these two things. I'm going to type it out and paste it in the group as an assignment, please. I want us to just contribute to it, and from our own time and free time, let's just research about it and be able to get something down. I hope it's not going to be difficult for us to answer. Alright, sir. So that is for this. So that is for this particular GST NOU107. NOU107 study guide. So I'm going to drop the question on the platform so that we can all see it and attempt to it. So for this particular unit, we actually talked about speaking. So the next one, we are going to be moving to reading. Everything that connects with reading. Why the next one will be writing. So is there any one of us that has a question or something that we do not understand that you need to ask about this particular topic? Alright, so I believe every one of us understands speaking, how speaking works, the component that makes us a good speaker, the challenges that students face, then things that we need to do to become a confident speaker. So please, let's take note of that. And if you are unable to join from the beginning, just drop a message so that I can send you the recording later. So I really appreciate every one of us for... Sir? Alright, so I really appreciate every one of us for showing up tonight for this particular class. So we'll be meeting up tomorrow again for another lectures on another course entirely. So I really appreciate one of us. Good night. Yeah, good night everyone. Good night, sir. Good night, ma. Yes, sir.